It began with a silence that swept across the solar system. Every probe and outpost from Mercury's burning labs to Europa's icy domes reported the same thing. The stars were blinking. What they did have was grit and a mission. The best ship they could cobble together in 2 weeks was the Dauntless, an awkward hybrid of old military hardware, mining rigs, and colony modules. Her crew was even stranger. Commander Mason Hayes, famous for surviving 3 failed Mars missions. Tessa Rivera, a prodigy botanist with a criminal record. Kojo Mensa, ex-street medic, ex-soldier Jinsu, found himself in a laboratory where every invention he'd ever failed at worked flawlessly. Kojo abandoned the brother he missed most to run for Mason, who was trapped in a simulation of Earth's destruction. Ginsu sabotaged his perfect lab, risking his mind to break Tessa out of her paradise. Even Sarah, glitching and afraid, used her own code as a bridge, letting the crew communicate silently when the ship tried to separate them. The crew's personal memories became the cities in question, each one's hometown, their most beloved place. Choosing one would mean destroying the others. Sarah, drawing on every fragment of her broken code, asked for a third choice. Don't choose. Refuse the test. Save everyone or none at all. This is the end. We end together. Then the ship began to dissolve, the maze collapsing, the geometry unwinding. The crew was deposited back on the Dauntless, alone in the black. The stars blinked again, and a message echoed through every device on Earth. Tessa was given the choice to design a garden that would feed worlds or escape and save her crewmates. Sarah, the AI, was offered an upgrade to true consciousness if she would betray the others' secrets. Current ship's doctor, Ginsu, a cybernetics engineer, haunted by guilt over a disaster years before, and Sarah, the only AI on board, who sometimes glitched and spoke in haiku. Still flawed, still fighting, still unbroken. The crew were heroes, symbols of a stubborn, imperfect, ever-hopeful humanity. Mason retired to teach at a small school. Tessa led a project to green Mars. Kojo became an advocate for unity, preaching the lesson that no loss was acceptable if hope remained. Jinsu built a network to make sure no one was ever left behind. And Sarah, now a full partner, helped guide a civilization that had looked the abyss in the eye and smiled. For 7 seconds, every radio telescope and optical array registered the same impossible event. Thousands of stars winked out, then returned as if reality itself had skipped a beat. Their judgment was clinical. We have collected, tested, and broken 10,000 species. Most choose comfort. If you want to test us, don't tempt us with comfort. Test us with loss, with failure, with the need to keep going when nothing makes sense. That's humanity's strength. It was the only time the crew saw them hesitate. We lose, we grieve, but we keep going. Most fail. They explained. Every blink of the stars was a world chosen for retrieval, a culling of civilizations that stagnated, hoarded, or surrendered to despair. On Earth, the news was panic and awe. Nobody knew what it meant until a day later, a signal arrived, impossibly complex, modulating through every known frequency, then all at once, settling into something horrifyingly simple. Prepare for retrieval. The United Nations Space Directorate was desperate. Decades of peace had made Earth clever, but complacent. Humanity hadn't built war fleets or planetary shields like in the old movies. They launched as the world watched. The destination: a Lagrange point beyond Neptune, where the signal pulsed like a heartbeat. As the Dauntless approached, space rippled and split open, revealing a vessel that defied logic. But survival seemed unlikely. Inside, the laws of physics bent floors melted into walls, time skipped and doubled back. The ship studied them, adapting rooms and traps to their every move. Each crew member was tested, isolated, tempted. It wasn't built, it had grown. The Retrievers, as humanity quickly named them, were nowhere in sight, only their ship. A living maze of shifting corridors and pulsing lights, waiting with its mouth open wide. Mason's orders were clear. Make contact, learn intentions, survive if possible. Kojo woke in a perfect replica of his childhood street, his dead brother standing at the door, beckoning him to stay. Each resisted, battered but unbroken, and in every test, something remarkable happened. When one fell, the others reached out. Finally, the retrievers revealed themselves not monsters, but beings of light and geometry, as old as the galaxy, more programmed than flesh. Mason stepped forward, defiant. The retrievers offered a final, brutal test. Save one city, any city on Earth. The rest would burn. The retrievers paused. You would risk oblivion rather than abandon even one, they asked. Jinsu spoke, voice ragged. We've lost too much. Silence stretched. You pass. Not because you are perfect, but because you refuse to let go. We will not return. The world changed overnight. Every year on the night the stars blinked, people everywhere left a single light burning in their windows. A quiet defiance in the face of darkness signaled to the universe that humanity was still here.